and welcome to another episode of Chit Chat and All That with me, Amanda Prowse.
And me, Penny Dommett. Thank you for joining us on this beautiful sunny morning.
Isn't it lovely?
Cold, but
Cold? You sound like my
sunny.
nan. Cold? I'm a bit cold.
Yes.
She was always cold.
Oh.
She was on warfarin though, I think it makes a difference. You don't need to know that. It thins your blood, doesn't it?
It does.
That's the
does
point.
That make you cold? I
Must
suppose
do, mustn't
it does.
it? I always think something thick and treacly, like thick blood full of cholesterol, must be toasty, and thin blood must be chilly. It's my medical knowledge coming out again, Pen.
There are certain things that we have to admit that we don't know anything about, and that is one of them.
We'll talk about that in a minute. But thank you so much for joining us. I really hate the way I go, with me, Amanda Prowse. And every time I say it, I think, next time we record, I'm not going to go, with me, and I do it automatically. It's like in my head, and I go, Brrrr.
And she raises up on her little tippy toes.
With me!
And I go down. And me.
Penny Dommett. I think you said Penny Prowse.
Because I have a bit of a squeaky voice. I have been known.
I don't think you have.
Well, yes. So consequently, when I'm thinking about it, I try and lower my voice.
Sultry.
Well, I wouldn't call my
No,
voice sultry.
I wouldn't say sultry.
I definitely won't be offering my services for phoning people for...
If you did a sex line, I don't think you'd make enough to cover a donut. I've got to be honest. Maybe a Freddo.
The trouble is I wouldn't be able to stop giggling.
Or judging them.
I
I beg your pardon.
You can't do that with a plunger.
Does your mother know that you say things like that? Shame on you. Wash your mouth out, sir, with some soap and water and call back when you're steadier. You're like, oh, I'm calling that one again.
Yeah.
Matron. There's probably a whole market for that
There
then.
probably is.
I revised my first statement then. Maybe you could buy a donut.
Well, yeah. I mean, there may be a market for people that look disparagingly at you.
Oh, yeah.
And
there is
tell you to pull yourself together.
Naughty boy. I'm sure there's a whole market for that, Pen. Let's not go down that rabbit hole today.
Anyway.
I was going to say to you, I don't know if it's just me, because very often things are just me, but I'm hoping it's you too, not the group. Hello, Bono. I just wondered.
It's going to be like that.
Sorry, I know, I'm trying to get a grip. I'm a bit giddy today, Pen.
Yeah.
I'm tired.
Yeah.
You know, you're tired
You're
and
a bit
tearful.
Aunt Sally.
Oh, I love Aunt Sally. I
She's
love her look. No, but you say I'm wrong. Jesus. Hit me where it hurts, why don't you, Wurzel? I used to love her little red circles on her face, because I have those too, naturally. So, I quite like Aunt Sally. Was it Eunice Stubbs?
Yes.
Mm.
Yeah.
She's beautiful.
Yeah.
Still beautiful.
Still, to me, Eunice Stubbs is as she was in Summer Holiday.
Yeah. Timeless.
I know.
Twiggy's got a new documentary film that I saw as well.
Really?
Talking about her life.
Very beautiful.
Yeah, I've met Twiggy a few times. I've done a podcast.
Oh, yeah?
Just dropped that in. Yeah, it's called Tea Time with Twiggy. We had a lovely old chat. We actually met at a party. Oh my God, I'm such an arsehole, Pen. Listen to me. We met at a party. But no, she's...
You don't go to parties?
Well, I did that time. Stunningly beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. Down to earth. Fabulous. And her husband, beautiful too. Lee Lawson.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Stunningly looks, really lovely. Just a beautiful couple. But her life story, absolutely really interesting. Where she came from, what she did, and how she changed the face of fashion, and has remained so authentic and true to herself.
Yeah.
That's what I love about her most.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, you should listen to that. It's called Tea Time with Twiggy, and it's the Amanda Prowse episode. I would highly recommend. But no, she was lovely. I find though, what I was going to say was when I'm listening to a particular, so I either get into a trap of watching something on Netflix and I'll binge watch it, and it could be thrillers, or it could be historical fiction, or it could be the Durrells.
Yeah, well, we know about that.
My fixation with the Durrells. I find I start to behave like the character I'm watching if I watch it too much. So, for example, if I watch a bit of Grey's Anatomy, which I was obsessed with for a while, fast-paced, medical...
Have you watched New Amsterdam?
All of it.
Yeah, and me.
Loved it, but hated the ending.
I know, it was a bit dull, wasn't it?
But don't put you off watching, folks!
But also, there'll be so many other series, so we'll be fine.
No,
they'll bring it back.
We'll be fine. I kind of felt they didn't know where to go with it. And
No.
apparently viewing figures weren't that high, which is why they've only done 2 series of it, and then it's still 3, whatever it was, then it stopped.
4.
Oh yeah, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I watch all of them. I do. But the ending, yeah. But when I watch them, I find I talk faster. I'm like, right, quick, decision, dinner, as though I'm in an ER room. You know, clear. Bring this meat back to life if it kills me. Again, time of death. No, one more time. Yeah, I can't help it. And I find I get into that sort of thing. And I started to watch, what was it? It was a recommendation you gave me, and the lead character, the woman, was quite harsh and a little bit of a, can I say bitch, the word I hate most in the world? She was a bit of a bitch, a bit of a bully. And I found I was talking quite
What was this then?
I can't remember. She was a character, it'll come to me. It was an American soapy type thing. I'll remember it. Anyway, I watched 2 episodes, it wasn't for me. It was a little bit violent. But I found I was sort of screaming at my family and becoming quite aggressive. Who put that towel on the floor? Pick it up now, god damn it, I haven't got all day to pick up after you. And they were like, what are you watching, Mum? Oh, I'm watching. Yeah, okay, explains it.
Perhaps that's why it explains why you have to watch the Durrells more often.
Do you know, it calms me.
Mm.
I become more Mama Durrell. I just
Giddy
let it all, yeah, have a gin and let it all go over your head. Let your kids be feral. Let your house be dusty and just don't care.
Mm.
I know.
That's not me.
No,
Not
it
very
is
good
not
at
you.
that. Not
No.
very good at that.
You obviously watch a lot of The Good Life.
No, I wish.
I've said this before, haven't
Yeah,
you?
a couple of weeks ago, we were talking about car share.
We were. And your doppelganger.
Yeah, Sean Gibson, because the lovely Christine, that's not me scratching,
No, that's the dog. Sorry, baby.
sent me a lovely photograph of her and said, you could be twins. I thought, oh my gosh, I wish.
Yeah.
She's beautiful.
Yeah.
Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, Sean's crying right now, but yeah.
Yeah.
I'm joking. Christine's great, isn't she?
Yes,
She's so
she is
engaged.
good.
We love her.
Yes.
We love her.
There are others too.
There are others.
Lots of others, and it's so nice to get messages. So please do message us at the Chit Chatters.
At the Chit Chatters. Follow us on the old gram of Insta.
Yes.
What are we posting on there, Pen, nowadays?
Well, we're not. Do you know,
We're not
busy.
brilliant,
We're
are
not
we?
brilliant.
We're not brilliant.
Because of course I've got this restriction on my Instagram anyway, so I can't be doing anything that often. And you know, the problem with my life is it just revolves around green things.
Yeah.
And at the moment seedlings.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Madness in the greenhouse at the moment
It's
because it's still cold at night, so I'm having to wrap everything up, and then I unwrap it in the morning, and then it gets too hot, and then I have to switch off the propagators, then I have to switch them back on.
I'm exhausted
Yeah,
thinking about it, Pen.
I know, but it's only a window of this seedling growing moment, and then come May, everything will be out,
Yeah.
the frost will be gone, and it will be pick.
I planted my cornflowers.
Really?
Yeah, you proud of me?
What do you mean, sowed your seeds?
Yeah.
That's fine. Inside, yeah?
No, outside.
Bit early. Because
I misunderstood the instruction.
If we're still having frosts, it might be a bit early. I don't normally direct sow, it's called. Direct sow. Don't normally direct sow until about end of April.
Oh, I'm very early then.
I mean, you might still be fine because cornflowers are pretty resilient.
Oh,
But
Penny, I spent
for those
hours.
reasons- Yeah, I mean, a few might come up, but you might lose a few.
I
But
walked
it'll be
around,
fine.
I prodded holes with my finger,
Yeah.
a couple of seeds in each hole, moved
Yeah.
along a bit, I did exactly as you
Oh,
said.
well done.
I'm a bit
Well,
disappointed though.
yeah, but I sort of meant indoors on a windowsill.
I didn't get that.
Yeah,
Oh.
sorry, I didn't give you the right information.
No, it's my fault, I'm dum-dum.
Yeah, no, you're not. You've got to stop saying that.
You're right, I'm
You
not
are
a
not
dum-dum.
at all. It's just your knowledge lies in other places.
My area of expertise is a
what I was
narrow
trying to think
channel.
of. That's what I was trying to think.
Mm.
Can I just put forward a little bit of an interesting, point?
You can. I'm laughing because Penny's having to wrestle a dog off her leg. It's all good fun here.
Yes. We at Book Club are reading
Oh, book club.
Orbital.
What's that? Oh, the book-a-doodah.
Booker prize winner.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Wonderful.
And I just keep thinking, because she wrote it during COVID, when she had nothing better to do than watch 24-hour Space Station.
We don't know she had nothing better to do.
Well, no. I mean, that sounded
She
awful.
might have been very busy.
Yes, but I just thought, how lovely. She was sitting there thinking, oh my gosh, I can watch these people and I feel like writing a book.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah,
And it's
it
a
was.
very good, very, very good book.
Yes, I do sometimes I'm reading it, I'm about halfway through.
I'm getting reservation in your tone.
Well, I want to be more grabbed than I am.
Okay.
Is all I can say.
See, sometimes I think when there's a lot of hype and
Yes,
there's an award
I
attached
agree.
to it, I know
I
we've
agree.
mentioned this before, it's like, oh, well, that's the latest thing, or that's the blah. I mean, there are some books that are very, very popular on TikTok.
Yeah.
And I think that is wonderful, because TikTok is obviously a younger demographic. It's encouraging younger people to read. We know the joy and the value of reading. Get them in, get them on board, get them reading anything. And there's books that are sold, millions of copies all over the world. And I thought, gosh, I'm going to give one of these a go. I couldn't pen. It was obviously, I mean, absolute admiration for the person who's pumping these books out. It wasn't considered, it wasn't deep, it wasn't, and I thought, actually, I sort of feel a bit torn, because I do want everyone to read, and if they're whatever you read is what you read, and that's brilliant, read it. But actually, I wish you were reading something that may be of slightly more informative or of more benefit for you. I just felt...
Well, my criteria for a good book is, well, actually it changes, I suppose, but I want to learn something. I want to learn something.
Yeah.
Even something smart. I'm not brown-nosing now, but your books do teach you something as well as being a good read, don't they? I mean, things like, I always say, first book I ever read of yours, Food of Love, I didn't really know anything about anorexia other than it made you thin.
Yeah.
And I learned all sorts of things from that book.
In fact, a lot of people say about that book that they always thought it was a physical illness.
Yeah.
They always assumed anorexia was a physical thing where you couldn't or wouldn't or didn't want to eat.
Yeah.
But it's not.
It's a lot more than that.
Physically is a symptom, but it's a mental health disorder.
Yeah.
Very different.
But for me, I totally agree. Sometimes there's so much hype attached to a book, and it just might not be for you.
No.
It just might not be for you.
No.
I stop me if I'm repeating myself, which I often am.
Stop.
So one of the books we have recently read for book club is North Woods.
Oh yes, you said about the apple and the
loved it. Absolutely loved it. We've had a book club meeting since then.
Yeah.
And one of the very obviously cleverer people than me.
Don't say that. We're not saying dumb.
No, we're not saying that.
clever.
Yeah. She said, well, actually, my description of it would be a gentle ghost story.
Oh.
And I suddenly went, oh my God, it was like,
Ting.
ding.
Revelation.
Yes. I went, yes, it is.
Love that.
It is. And I thought, how fantastic. And suddenly, the book, everything clicked into place.
Did it sort of come into focus?
Yes.
I know
Totally.
exactly what you mean. I love that.
And it was really, really interesting that 12 people read the same words and they get different things out of it. But as much as I loved that book, and I gave it 9 out of 10, loved it, other people were a bit like, didn't really.
And that's everything, isn't it? Whether it's art, whether it's a garden, whether it's a painting, art or a painting, different things, or a book, whatever it is, it's always
Art
so
can be
subjective.
lots of different things. It doesn't have to just be a
Please don't make me go back to that art exhibition. I can't cope, and I've only just recovered. That was weeks ago, and I'm still struggling, to be honest, to get that image out of my head. Oof.
On the news recently, when we were talking about art and your and then we veered onto the COVID wall, didn't we?
We did, yeah.
And it's just been in the news because it's been the anniversary of the lockdown, is it?
I think so, yeah.
And they talked about that wall, and when you mentioned it, that was the first time I'd heard of it.
Oh.
Obviously, I don't go to London very often.
You will be.
Yeah.
When I've got a bed in.
And it was just that was really moving when they talked about that wall.
It's incredible, and it's one of those things, isn't it? You're sort of for me. So for those who missed the episode, I think it was about 3 or 4 ago. I can't remember. There's a COVID wall on the wrong side of St Thomas's and Guy's Hospital along the Albert Embankment, opposite Big Ben, and it's this huge stretch of wall. I don't know how long. I want to say a mile or 2 miles, but with distances, I'm not very good. Covered in red hearts, and you can write the name of someone you've lost either during or because of or around the COVID time. And I find I'm going about my daily life. I'm just walking from A to B. I'm going to a meeting. I'm going to meet my agent, publicist, whatever. You're just cracking on, and you just look up, and then there's those dates with that little dash in the middle, which is someone's whole life. Yeah. And just it says mum or dad, it just takes my breath away. Yeah, and I've got to the point where if I'm not feeling, I'm sure I've said this before, if I'm not feeling resilient, I almost have to not look at it because I will be in floods of tears. It's an absolute, trigger for me.
Slightly go backwards, just a little bit. We were talking about Booker Prize winners.
We were.
Do you know what the criteria is for, what the judges are looking for?
I don't, and it's really interesting because I think it sort of changes year on year.
Oh, does it? So it's not like, right, point number one, because when you go to Chelsea, the flower show, the judges
Have you been to Chelsea, Pen?
Strangely.
What?
Did
you win a gold medal, Pen?
There is a list of, you must fulfil the brief.
All right.
It must have this, it must have that. And there is a list.
A bit like the Great British Menu.
Yeah.
Got to do all those things.
Oh, I loved it.
I love Great British Menu.
Oh my goodness. Angela Hartnett was on it this week.
Yes, she was good, wasn't she?
Yeah, I love her.
I do
love
too.
her.
I think she'd be our friend.
Oh, I think she'd be so funny. We need to get her on.
Shall we?
Yeah,
Did she
so
come?
funny.
Come and stand in
Yeah,
our
but
kitchen.
she can make the breakfast. That's more important.
Wouldn't that be brilliant?
She can make breakfast.
We'd have pasta. Yes, please, Angela. Is anyone listening know Angela Hartnett? Give her a call.
Or even Angela Hartnett.
It's her sister. Get her in. Anyway.
So I think there must be sort of like a list. Right, the Booker Prize judges are looking for, one, the title must be relevant to the book.
Yeah.
Two,
always useful.
the cover must be pretty.
I don't know.
Or relevant to the book.
I think that there will be a brief criteria that all the judges are given, but then I think it's really open to interpretation, which I love. But I think you have to be nominated, or how they select the books. I don't know. Or
because they say, don't they, long
list
Booker Prize or something.
Yeah.
Don't they?
Yeah, I don't know. But I know, it's a murky world, isn't it? Book awards. I find it. I don't know.
It's like anything.
Yeah.
And it's all subjective.
Well, there is
Is it subjective or objective? Subjective.
Subjective. There is an award ceremony which I've been invited to several times because I'm great.
Why don't you go?
No, it's not because I'm great.
Why?
Because actually, it's all about buying a table.
Oh, right.
It's absolutely.
What? If there was
bizarre.
only two of us on it.
No. You buy a table. You present or put forward something that you think is worthy of an award, and it's almost like you can only win if you've bought that table and you've put that money in. And it's very like, if you're not, because most people aren't putting the money in, aren't buying a table, and they're not in the running. So it's almost like, I don't want to say you're buying it, but very often very big companies who have more money to buy more tables, more seats, more money, more sponsorship, more PR, more everything, they're the ones who are winning because they have the cash. And so it doesn't feel to me like a true reflection of the thing that they're giving the award for. I'm not even going to say what it is because I don't know, but it's a bit like that. And you see these same faces and companies and individuals. It's like, oh, I've won this, and it's like marvellous. And we had a great night. There were 20 of us at this table at £400 a head. How lovely. But that, Mavis Biggs, who lives up the road, might have created something that's even better. But she's not got that table. She's not in that room. For a million reasons. And so I find it a little bit, am I being mean?
No, but that's just down to human nature and awards, isn't it?
I find it a bit sort of like...
Chelsea, as you know, I absolutely adore going to Chelsea and looking at...
Come stay with me this year.
Incredible, yes.
Yeah.
Looking at the incredible talent of designers, nurserymen, plant people, everything. I love it. But it is, some gardens, they win awards and I'm thinking, what?
Yeah.
And for me, it has to have some relevance to the ordinary person that might have 10 square metres in the backyard.
Do you know what, Pen? That is absolutely it. And I think that's very interesting. So when I talk about my granddad a lot, I know I am, it's because I'm missing him at the moment. But he, as I say, lived in East End London, had no garden to speak of, and a couple of clotty beds, full of like clods of clay and nasty stuff. And he used to grow beds of dahlias, and they were, heads like footballs, absolutely stunning. They were his pride and joy. Didn't do anything else, didn't have a lawn or, an orchard or an east wing, no 2.5 acres around there, mate, let me tell you. Apart from the gasworks, but that was covered in dog shit. But he would grow these beds of dahlias, and they were absolutely stunning. He should have got a prize for that. because it was a lot harder for him to find the time at the end of a busy working day to go out and tend them and do that than it would be for someone who maybe has 4 gardeners.
Whilst we're talking about Chelsea, because this is definitely important for everyone, not just for people who can afford it. For the first time ever, a fellow member of Flowers from the Farm is doing a display at Chelsea to do with funeral flowers.
Wonderful.
First time ever.
What did you call them?
Farewell flowers.
I love that.
Did I mention this before?
No, but you used that phrase, farewell flowers.
It's
and I was
actually
like, I love that so much. It's so much
called
nicer.
The Farewell Flower Directory.
Love it.
It was started by Jill Hodgson, who started Flowers from the Farm. And I'm going to get these names wrong, I know, it's really bad. But they are going to Chelsea. They have
Amazing.
They've got this garden that they are going to build at Chelsea that will hopefully bring awareness to everyone the importance of having sustainable funeral flowers.
Wonderful.
So locally grown.
Yeah.
Making it more personal for the person that has died.
Totally. Well, imagine if you've lived in an area all your life, wherever that area is, and you are getting flowers that have been pollinated by the bees and the birds that you've been looking at out of your window.
Well, and also the other
Amazing.
lovely thing that they try and encourage is that if that person loved their garden, you can actually go and use plants and flowers from their garden.
Are you kidding?
No, it's a wonderful thing. And they don't use any floral foam at all, so nothing that is going to be single-use plastic.
I've just had a little look in my garden, Penny, and I'm hoping I don't get my clogs soon because my cold flowers aren't out yet.
Yeah.
I'd have a bit of old rose stem and a yucca plant. It'd be rubbish.
It'd
be rubbish. Are you on it?
Yeah.
You're on
I'm
it, Pen. Thank you. That's good to know.
So definitely look out for the Farewell Flowers Directory.
When is Chelsea?
Chelsea is May.
Yeah. Oh, great.
And I think I'm going on the 20th.
Are you?
Of May. Yes.
I'll meet you after. This probably isn't the podcast, but I'll meet you after.
Okay.
We'll go and get something to eat.
Yes.
Come and stay.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Sit and look at the water.
Yeah. No, I'm really looking forward to it. It's my one. It's sort of our Mother's Sunday.
Lovely.
So Joel and I go and we swan about.
Oh, he's not going for dinner.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he probably has something else.
Yeah,
to do.
we cramp our talk.
Yeah.
Pen.
Cramp our
Can't
style.
talk about him if he's
No,
there, can
that's
we?
very
Obviously,
true.
you know,
That's very true.
better just the two of us. I mean, I love him.
Yeah.
I love him, but
well, he's very busy at the moment because he's on tour.
oh, of course.
Yes, he's on tour.
So we had a party, as you know, a couple of years ago, a big party in the paddock. It was pretty fantastic. And one of my friends, Bev, who came, lovely Bev, she's mad as a box of frogs. I absolutely adore her. Sunflowers are her flowers. She loves them. She went up to Durham to see Joel.
Oh, did she?
Yeah, and apparently saw him outside and sort of jumped on him and went, I met you at Mandy's party! And he was like, oh yes, hello. No idea. But she sent me a message saying, I have laughed till I cried.
Well, literally, it was
She
just
said
a
it
few days
is
ago,
so funny. Yeah, Durham, she saw him.
Yeah.
So he's doing the rounds,
Yeah,
is he?
he really is. He's touring for a long time. And we have seen the first one and we're due to see another one. And it is very funny, even if I say so myself. But we should go together to one in London.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah,
Yes,
good.
let's do that.
Yeah, it'd be good.
Oh, Penny, we're arranging our social life for our podcast. People listening are going, get your diary out. What are you doing on 13? Yeah, I can make that for a coffee. Lovely. I don't know. Going back to what we were talking about the idea of medal winners and award winners having to be professional and sponsored and everything. This is a gripe for me. It really upsets me when people say, I'm a writer, but I'm not published. As though that makes them less of a writer. I absolutely hate it.
Why would they say that?
Because they feel it's... because very often if you say to people, I'm a writer, I've written a book, people instantly go, oh yeah, have I read it? Can I get it in Waterstones? You know, how many have you sold? And you go, oh no, actually, I've written it, but I haven't got an agent, or I haven't sold it yet, or I haven't finished it. And for me, it drives me crackers, because the fact that someone sits and is committed to creating this incredible body of work, and it takes a lot to write a book. You know, it takes all your energy and all your emotions and all your spare time. Even harder when you're working doing another job or another 2 jobs or whatever. But the fact that they feel the need to say that sort of caveat, oh, but it's not published. I want to say, you are still a writer. I'm a writer. You're a writer. It's no different. And I hate that kind of demarcation when people feel a bit less than because they haven't got a bestseller or they haven't, got a super duper agent or with one of the top 5 publishing companies. It drives me crackers. And I would like to say to all budding authors and all writers, you are a writer. If you're writing, you're a writer. We need to get rid of that sort of them and us feeling and that idea that you are less than because you haven't yet broken through a ceiling that you might be trying very hard to conquer. You're still an amazing writer and just don't give up.
But on that very point, you're a gardener. And you would say, no, I'm not. But you are. You've just put seeds in the ground with the hope that they are going to grow.
It's a big hope.
You are a gardener.
Am I?
But you see, you're doing exactly the same.
I want to be a gardener. See, I don't know, but I think it's different because for me, a gardener is someone who will regularly tend a garden, who has a smidge of knowledge about what they're doing. Me going out for half an hour on a wet Sunday and popping a few seeds in a planter, I don't really think qualifies me. But writing a book, you are, by definition, you are spending hours and you're pouring your emotion and your soul and your belief and your identity onto that page for public viewing. I think it makes you very vulnerable.
One of my very first jobs was...
Stripper. All right, can you all have your money back? All of you, queue quietly.
I'd be better as a paint stripper. Was writing up on a computer this man's novel.
Oh.
Yeah, and it was...
Sorry,
to say,
can I just say, how come I've known you for 100 years and this is the first time I'm hearing
really
of this one thing that's a really huge link to what we do?
I know. I used to go to his house twice a week.
Oh, hello.
I know. Well, in actual fact, when I first answered the advert...
Was it a small ad pen?
Yeah.
Would love to meet someone with nimble fingers who's good on a keyboard. Clearly it's optional.
Good on desk. And I did think, oh gosh, this could actually be really awful.
But I'll go anyway.
But then he showed me.
What did he show you? What did he show you?
He showed me his script. And it was this
This isn't code.
Literally in longhand.
Oh.
All of his pages, and he'd do a chapter a week, and then I would come and put it onto his word processor.
Oh yes, yeah.
In the very early days of word processing.
Amazing.
And I would type it up, and it was it's really difficult typing up a book because there's a lot of quotation marks.
That's right.
And it drove me mad. Yeah. These quotation marks.
You get into a habit of it though. It's a very strict format in a book. So I now do it automatically, each again, that was the dog, I should point out. Is she asleep somewhere, Pen?
I don't know. If she is, she's... No, one
just snort. Oh, there they are, accounted for.
Breeding.
Yeah, they're both girls. They don't breed. They don't know about things like that, Penny. I've kept them very wholesome. Where were we? Yeah, so when you're writing, there's a very strict format to a book, and obviously your editors need to receive it in that format.
Oh, right.
And it's, so you just do it automatically after a while. Look, I'm even doing it in the air.
Yeah.
Prove a point. So anyway, how'd you get on?
And it was about the future, and there were genomes, which were like AI created. I mean, he was before his time. Created like machines.
Genomes. I'd say genome, but then I'd go genome.
Yeah, you would. Yeah, you're showing your age now.
Oh, I love that song.
I can still see his dungarees now.
That book features heavily in my... That song features very heavily in my book that comes out in January 2026. Sharon Main name is, because we're unsure of the title. But it's about twins.
Oh.
It's adorable.
What, me and Sean Gibson?
Obviously.
Yeah, obviously.
Me and Nicole Kidman.
That's where I've seen you before. Oh my God.
I'm always getting confused.
Just take those glasses off and honestly, there.
I know.
Yeah.
It's uncanny.
Amazing. Uncanny.
I don't look like anyone. No, I mean, there's no one to go, oh, you look like... That's never happened to me.
I've never done that.
No one ever has. I think I look a bit like Sally Lindsay.
No, you don't. Not even slightly.
Yeah, I do a bit.
No, you don't.
Oh, okay.
No, you really don't.
I would have said I do.
Yeah.
I always thought if I had to play a twin, Sally would play the other one. No? Not. Right.
No.
There you go.
Definitely not.
Well, that's interesting.
Your hair is nothing like hers.
I can put a wig on.
she could.
We both could.
Anyway,
We
so
don't
I typed up the book and then never heard another thing from him. And
I hope he says thank you.
I didn't see it. Well, he paid me. I didn't see it on the bookshelf of Waterstones. So I'm assuming that he was a writer, but never a published writer.
But how wonderful that he did that and committed to it.
Yeah.
Was he older gentleman? Was
He was an older. Yeah, he was retired, and it was something he'd always wanted to do.
Fantastic.
And the other job I had at
Oh, here we
the same
go.
time,
We're going to get all your careers. Basically, publish your CV pen on the website.
and about the same time was
So
somebody
this is
asked me-
Indeed.com. I'm Penny Dommett, very diverse. I know when to pull off flowers, I can type up books. And I think Pierce Brosnan is not Irish. The end.
I was asked to type up a lady's mother's poems that she'd written through her life. And she used to play bowls. And there was a lot about bowls. And I literally, it was,
I'm not laughing at the content. I'm laughing at your face.
And it was charming, that's all I can say. It was charming.
Yes.
I think she felt sorry for me because I had 2 small children and I needed a job.
I feel sorry for you, mate.
And I literally would type up these very old poems.
I love that so much.
It was nice.
Yeah.
I can't remember what she was called now. But yeah, I've had some weird jobs.
You have had some weird jobs. I've had some weird jobs.
Have you?
Yeah.
What was the weirdest?
I sold fruit and veg on a market.
Oh, I've done that.
I
I
loved
worked
it.
in a fruit and veg shop.
Quite like that.
Except I couldn't add up.
I've sold, I've had a few market stall jobs. I used to work in Camden Market when I was 13, selling utter tut. But we used to say it was antiques. Whack 20 quid on, sell it to an American tourist. Very nice. What else have I done? Oh, numerous waitressing. I had one job where I used to clean, there used to be a wine bar in Thornbury on the Plain, which is now the Indian restaurant. It's there for years.
Right.
Next door to Sando Loose Panes. Max's for a while, but Len and Nancy used to run it. This is probably way too much detail for anyone who isn't from Thornbury. But we used to go every Friday, every Saturday night, go to this wine bar. Absolutely loved it. If we weren't working behind the bar, we were propping it up, and it was just brilliant. Everyone knew everyone. It was a bit like our youth club. And we all had our 18th and 21st day, even though we'd been drinking there for years. It was hilarious. And I got a job cleaning in the wine bar on a Sunday morning, because it was just up the road from my mum and dad. So it was really easy. And I remember my first day, this may come as a surprise, but age 17, I'd never been in a men's toilet. Not the case now, I should add, but I'd never been in a men's loo. And the guy who ran the pub, absolutely beautiful couple, Len and Nancy, they were just absolutely wonderful. I adored them. He said, yeah, just go in, give the men's loos a once over. He said, the women's are going to be worse, and they were always. And I went into the men's loos, and obviously there's urinals, and I knew what a urinal was, and I was like, oh my God. Someone's put all the soap in the bottom of the urinals, so with my hands, I gathered up all those white blocks in the base of the urinal and took them out into the wine bar and went, someone put all these in the urinal. We went, oh, for God, that's like disinfectant blocks that people wee on. And after a good Saturday night, I was holding them in my hands on a Sunday morning. Never bitten my nails since.
No, I'm not surprised.
No.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a weird job, cleaning the men's loos. I've done loads. Offices cleaning, everything. Lots of cleaning, as you can tell. Worked in numerous shops.
So that's why you don't do any now.
I've done, unless you're paying me, I've had my fill. I've put my time in, Pet. I've had enough. I worked in Monsoon in York. And really, really funny, I worked for this amazing girl called Nikki Carmichael. She was brilliant. And we used to laugh, from the moment we arrived. I think it was about 16, 17, it was a Saturday job. And from the moment I arrived to the moment I left, we would be crying, doubled over with laughter. It was brilliant, with great music blaring, and it was just fantastic. Yeah. And a friend of mine, John Mars, who's an author, he's a thrillers author. You must know John Mars, The One, Passage. I mean, he's written brilliant, brilliant books. If you haven't read John Mars, check him out, he's fantastic. We were talking, and he said, oh yeah, I work for a newspaper. He said, oh, my editor's amazing, Nicole Carmichael. And I went, Nicole Carmichael? Did she used to live in York? And he went, yes.
No, it wasn't the same person.
The same person.
Wow.
Yeah, so sort of like 30 years on.
Isn't it weird how the jobs you do when you're sort of forming your character just live with you forever?
They do.
I worked for United Colours of Benetton. Do you remember that?
Oh, I do. Are you good at folding?
Yes, that's what I was just about to say. I still now cannot walk past a pile of jumpers on the floor without folding them up.
That's hilarious. Get upstairs.
Yeah. And I worked for a China company.
Oh.
Selling beautiful English china, like
Ooh.
Royal Dalton, Wedgwood.
Oh.
I cannot sit down to a plate full of food without checking underneath which make it was. So,
Mine's easy, it's IKEA.
Yeah,
All of it.
I mean, and it is a beautiful thing. Beautiful china is a beautiful thing.
Was that the shop in Bath?
Yes,
I know the
China
shop
craft
you
at
mean.
the top.
I know the shop
Yeah.
you mean. Very lovely.
It was very
I never
cool.
went in because obviously I'm quite clumsy.
Well, and it was literally one of those shops where you'd go in and it was all carpeted and quiet.
Oh my gosh! So when you were working there, I was working at Hitchcock's around the corner.
No!
Yes.
Isn't that weird?
We were young. We
Yeah.
could have met them then.
Yeah, we could have.
I might have walked past you.
Yeah, probably did.
It's funny, isn't
And the
it?
weird thing is that people used to come in and want to buy whole sets or they'd just buy a little bit of a particular china set.
Yeah.
And when I was 18, my dad bought me my very first bit of the china that I chose, which was Ainsley Blue Mist.
Oh.
And then every birthday I would get another
I
plate.
love that.
Yeah, it's a lovely idea. And we'd sort of build it up, and then for my wedding I got a tureen, and then I got this, and now it sits in the cupboard and nobody ever uses
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
But it was interesting because Americans used to come, going to Bath to
Yes.
visit Bath and be tourists. And in America, it was traditional to have a different place setting for each guest. So they would have, one particular type of pattern for this guest, and then another different pattern. So they'd buy a place setting for, say, 10.
But different makes.
Different makes, different colours.
I love that
It's
idea.
a nice idea, isn't it? I think it's
Yes.
a nice idea. Yeah.
I love
And then
that.
it'd be like, oh no, I want the Wedgwood one, or I'd like the cold pork one.
Josiah Wedgwood,
Yes.
which is my son's name.
Yes, lovely name.
And my granddad's name.
Yeah.
And my great-granddad's name.
Is it? I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's Josiah. I think he's third or fourth.
Mm.
I said to him, if you have a son, will you call it Josiah? He went, nope. Okay, that's that then. Made me laugh.
Names getting weird, aren't they?
Pen, don't you start on names. We have not, nobody's got time for that today, Penny, especially not you. Right, Dommett, that is us. Done. Thank you so much for another lovely, lovely episode. I've loved talking to you today. I love it every day. If you've enjoyed us, Sorry.
We've talked about so much today.
We have, but if you've enjoyed this episode, please go back and listen to all previous episodes from wherever you get your podcasts. Tell a friend, recommend us, like us if possible, and do leave us a message at
the Chit Chatters.
the Chit Chatters. Thank you for listening. Until next time, take care.
Bye bye.
That was a funny bye.